Now, I am certainly no saint. I'm not going to pretend like I always do the right thing. But there's one video that I have seen on YouTube that went viral a couple years ago. And I'm not joking. This video has absolutely bothered me ever since. I'm sick and tired of watching these pastors and these quote unquote men of God using people for money, building these super churches, these mansions, taking money from the poor, saying that they're a man of God, and because they quote a book and put on a mask, that not only are they tax exempt, but they're looked up to, and because they hold so much power, people absolutely ignore what they're doing and invite them to dinners, like at the White House. I voted for Trump. I support him. But when I found out that Trump was inviting him to the White House to have dinner, it makes me so angry that I have to sit here and let this happen. Like, I can't do anything about it, and no one is saying anything. That's what really pisses me off. That people let men like James Taylor get away with taking money from people and buying BMWs, Bentleys, Range Rovers, $5,000 suits, Louis Vuitton clothing. They have their own personal drivers. They have $2.8 million mansions. Oh, I'm sorry, residential centers that they just so happen to spend all their time at. And then people have to tiptoe around the law to make sure that they're not doing something that would incriminate themselves. We all know what he's doing. These are times when you have to say, screw it, man, and take him out. Take all his cars, take away his mansion, give him a little cottage in the woods, and say, here you go. If you're a man of God, then everything that we just took from you, we're going to give it out to the community. We're going to give it to everybody that comes to see you at your church. You're a man of God, right? You're going to do what's right. So as you can see, I had a little bit of an argument with him. Of course, he's calling me stupid, that I'm an idiot, acting like a child. So I decided to say, screw it, and go go balls deep in to argue with his pastor. So I placed the source below of someone that did a little piece on this guy. And also I'm going to put the video below. And It'll make you sick that this guy got away with it. It's unbelievable. He's living in a $2.8 million mansion, drives a Bentley, he wears Louis Vuitton, he takes luxury vacations, and how dare anybody question the church? In the video, this is basically how the entire hearing goes. The attorney asks easy, normal questions, and this pastor responds with smug sarcasm and a "you can't touch me" attitude. The attorney asks, on your 2012 tax return, who's Brooklyn Mitchell? And Taylor responds with, Brooklyn? I don't know. And the attorney says, you don't remember who Brooklyn Mitchell is? No. No. You have no idea? No. Never heard of that person? No. Brooklyn Mitchell? Nope. And the attorney responds with, on your 2012 tax return, you claimed Brooklyn Mitchell as a dependent through an exemption. And of course, this whole entire time, he's just looking around like, yeah, so, well, yeah, whatever. You know, knowing that he can just throw religion in there and people got to lay off. So they continue asking about the $2.8 million property in St. Louis that is listed as an asset on JMMI, which is his church or organization, whatever you would call it. Anyways, on the tax forms, when asked what the property was used for, after slipping up and referring it to as a home, Taylor insists it's a residential center for the church and meetings. This guy. Oh, man. I can't even do this thing. I can't even say all this seriously. It's just ridiculous. When asked who was on the board for the church, he somehow cannot remember. Apparently, there are a lot of meetings with people he doesn't remember on his board. Also, the Bentleys are only used for church. And also, by the way, his wife has a driver. So he buys 2 Bentleys. Actually, I'll get to that in a little bit. He buys Louis Vuitton suits because he sweats through them. That's exactly what he says. I sweat through my suits, so I need to buy several suits. Macy's doesn't have the suits that I wear. And of course she asks, well, don't you think buying top of the line clothing while people they're not top of the line. I don't care what they are. Like, really? You play stupid. The garage inventory includes a BMW, a Mercedes, Bentley, and a Range Rover. The first 2 are registered to JMMI for the use of quote-unquote high-profile guests Also, a $50,000 ticket was even paid to Limo Land in order to chop the Mercedes into a stretch limo. Again, for the, I'm doing quotes, hospitality of guests. When it comes to dressing an apostle, you'll need something a notch above potato sack, but not quite a diamond encrusted robe. So how about $6,000 at Louis Vuitton, $3,500 at Versace, Versace. Obviously, I don't shop there. $1,700 at another clothing store that's high end. I forget how to pronounce it. I'm not going to lie to you. And other designer threads totaling $30,000 over a 2-year period. He defends himself by saying he has to buy his belts at these high-end stores because they're better quality and have a better TV appearance. So apparently this guy needs to buy $30,000 worth of belts because he's too fat to... Isn't gluttony one of the... Never mind. So the attorney asks, so you don't see that there's any problem when you're ministering to the poor, the sick, and the needy to be appearing in Louis Vuitton and Versace? And he responds with, well, that ain't something I purchase all the time. She responds with, well, it looks like you did several times. And then he says, you gotta watch this video. I am a very frugal person when it comes to this. I go to the right places to get a lot of suits. And if I get some of these from those places, you don't see that in that bill. And then she responds with, the attorney says, I don't see Macy's. And he says, no, you don't see that because Macy's don't have the kind of suits that I wear. He also claims he sweats a lot on stage and needs frequent changes of his suits. So there's just one woman in particular who has been left nearly homeless by JMMI, and her name is Deborah Frazier. She donated $1.2 million after cashing in her 401k valued at $600,000 and taking the equity from her home, which she previously owned outright. Frazier, who was court ordered to stop giving money to JMMI and taking her children to services, is now losing her home and owes the IRS a considerable amount in taxes from the 401k withdrawal. However, she felt compelled to give more, and the ministry happily took her wire transfer. So Taylor was asked if he would consider giving her back some of the money so that she may try to put her life back together again. And this is what he said: I would love to do that if we have the money. Presently, we don't, which is a total lie. So I'll let you watch the video and decide for yourself. Obviously, you can look at all my videos. I don't bash pastors or ministries, and it's just this video, this guy needs to be, they need to take him out from his job. They need to take all of his assets. They need to take everything from this guy. They need to be more strict on churches, religions. Scientology and people like this are getting away with hoarding money, talking about their God, and acting as if they care about poor people and people that actually need the money. Taking money from them and then living a lifestyle of Bentleys and Louis Vuitton, Versace, and a $1.8 million home. This is ridiculous, man. We need to please share this video. I want this guy to be held for his actions. I want to see what he has to say. I want to see him squirm. I would love to watch him be forced to take everything he has and give it back to his community. Thank you for watching.